Okay, committee reports. Legislative update, Mrs. Shorter.
Yes, I am going to struggle through here with my magnifier. I have a few things. You get to a certain age and you really just need your readers. That's all there is to it. So the Senate Finance Committee met, or will be meeting June 4th. A full vote of the Senate is expected on Thursday, June 10th. This is in regards to House Bill 110. So House Bill 110 is the state budget bill. The important things that I'd like to point out is that within the House Bill 110, some important measures pertaining to what was known previously as House Bill 1 under Fair School Funding, they have removed the language pertaining to House Bill Fair School Funding Plan, and they're replacing it with a new funding formula. So House Bill 1, all of that funding, that complete plan, has been replaced with a new formula that utilizes a different base cost methodology and restores the state share index to determine the state and local share calculation. So some of the things that I think are important, it establishes a base cost methodology under which the per pupil base cost amount is $6,065 in fiscal year 2022, $6,110 in fiscal year 2023. They will maintain the Student Success and Wellness Fund of $350 million. That's proposed as being maintained. It provides a gain cap relief for growing districts. That should provide a little bit of relief, with gap aid and a formula transition supplement or guarantee to eligible districts. It establishes a direct funding mechanism for students enrolled in community schools, STEM schools, and non-public schools through a voucher program. Maintains the district deduction for students who open enroll to other districts. Increases the Ed Choice voucher payment amount to $5,500 for K through 8 students and $7,500 for 9 through 12. Previously, the amount was $4,650 for K through 8 students and $6,000 respectively for 9 through 12. So those funding amounts through Ed Choice have increased. It also expands the Ed Choice eligibility to restore the high school eligibility and sibling eligibility provisions that were previously repealed. It also eliminates the bus purchase funding. Basically, we've talked about fair school funding quite a bit, and it is something that's definitely important to public schools throughout the state of Ohio. We were concerned that the actions in the Senate were basically leaning towards stripping all the goodness out of that. And essentially, that's what it looks like to me. Nancy can correct me, but I think the fact that more money is being placed in the Ed Choice voucher program as opposed to our per pupil base funding cost amount in public schools is concerning, and it's indicative of priorities. And so I will just say that the majority of kids in the state of Ohio are in public schools. Personally, I'm a big proponent of public schools. I think that there's education, desires out there for everyone. I understand that people want options, but I will point out again that there are increases in the Ed Choice voucher amounts. That same generosity seems to be stagnant or, basically at a capped level for our public school kids. And I think the priorities in the Senate are not fully in line with where the majority of Ohio's kids are. And so that's the concern. Nancy, if there's something you'd like to add to that, that would be good. But this is disappointing to me, obviously, but.
Agreed.
And that's where we are. I wish I had better news, but the good news is that we did have graduation. That's another thing.
Right. Any questions for Mrs. Shorter on that? I think that this is, the word I would use is dangerous, because they'll say now that the state is funding all this, but in reality, it's taking money that could have gone to the public schools away.
Sure.
And then eventually, when they have to find funding for Ed Choice, they'll take it from the public schools.
I know.
So I think it's a dangerous thing that they're trying to do. I believe you're right, it's an attack on public schools. So,
I think the biggest change is they're not holding those schools to the same accountability levels that they hold public schools.
right.
That's the other piece, that they may be sending money to schools that are failing, public taxpayers' money to those schools and helping those failing schools continue to fail.
That's right. That's right. And we had a school here in our own area. Was that Richard?
Allen Academy?
Yes, I think we lost $1 million over how many years? And the results were pretty much abysmal. And so, I mean, this does happen. It's a real thing. It's disappointing. But yes, accountability would be good if it were on an equal measure there. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Shorter. Anything else legislative?
That's it for tonight.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Butler Tech update. There is no update this evening. So we'll move on to Planning Commission. Mr. Bagley.
Nothing pertinent to the schools at this time, thank you.
Okay, Student Achievement. Mrs. Gundrum.
First, congratulations to all the seniors who graduated this past weekend. That was great. My first graduation, so that was a lot of fun. I wanted to recognize the men's track and field team. They are district champions, which is a big, huge deal. So congratulations, gentlemen. And on a fun note, West Elementary apparently had a rock, paper, scissors tournament before the end of the school year. And each grade level had a champion. And then the champions all competed during, I think, homeroom one morning. And second grader Caitlin Rice won. So she is the rock, paper, scissors champion. So I thought that was fun.
That's great. Thank you.
Very good.
Parks and Recreation update. Mr. Clark.
Yes, thank you. The Parks Department has, we have not met since our last meeting, but I would like to say that on the Fairfield City Parks Department Facebook page, they are asking for your pictures of how you spend your time at the parks this month. So if you go to a park, take some selfies, Roger, and send that in. Go to the Parks Facebook page, and you can upload and share those there. So the Parks Department just kind of want to get a feel for how we're using our Parks Department. So take selfies and show food, hot dogs, without your mask, and still wash your hands, and send those in.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Any questions for Mr. Clark?